Let me guess, you check your bank account and it's not zero. But it's not safe either. There's a few thousand in there. Maybe $3,200, maybe $8,700, maybe you just broke $12,000 and it feels like progress. But it also feels fragile. One medical bill, one job layoff, one car repair, one bad month, and suddenly it's gone. You keep telling yourself, if I could just get to 6 figures saved, then I'd feel secure. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The first $25,000 you save will change your life more than your first $250,000 ever will, and most people don't understand why. My name is Chris, and I spend way too much time thinking about how people build real financial security from the ground up. If you're someone who feels like you're working hard but still financially fragile, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today we're breaking down something that completely flips how people think about money milestones. Everyone obsesses over $100,000. Everyone dreams about $1 million. People throw around $250,000 like it's the turning point. But here's the thing. $25,000 is the real psychological and mathematical breakthrough. And here's what most people don't realize. The jump from $0 to $25,000 is harder and more transformational than the jump from $25,000 to $250,000. Look, most Americans live below that first milestone. According to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, the median transaction account balance for households under 35 is under $8,000, and around 37% of Americans say they would struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense. $400. That's not wealth, that's survival. When you're under $10,000 in savings, every decision is reactive. You don't invest aggressively. You don't negotiate confidently. You don't leave bad jobs. You don't take calculated risks. Because you can't. Psychologically, this is what behavioral economists call scarcity mindset. When resources feel limited, your brain shifts into short-term survival mode. Research from Princeton economist Sendil Mullainathan and Elder Shafir shows that scarcity reduces cognitive bandwidth. In simple terms, financial pressure literally makes you think worse. That's not motivation. That's biology. This is why the first $10,000 matters, but it's not enough. Here's where it gets really interesting. At $25,000 in cash or liquid investments, 3 major shifts happen. First, you exit survival mode. If your monthly expenses are $3,000, then 3 months is $9,000. 6 months is $18,000. 8 months is $24,000. So at $25,000, you have roughly 6 to 8 months of runway. That's not just an emergency fund. That's leverage. You can quit a toxic job, turn down a lowball offer, negotiate salary with confidence, take time to find a better opportunity, even start a small side project. A study from the Urban Institute found that households with at least 3 months of expenses saved are significantly less likely to experience financial hardship after income shocks. In other words, $25,000 buys optionality, and optionality changes your behavior. Second, your relationship with money flips. The first $25,000 isn't just saved money, it's proof. Proof that you can delay gratification. Proof that you can control lifestyle inflation. Proof that you can manage cash flow. Proof that you can build systems. Before $25,000, you're hoping. After $25,000, you're building. There's an identity shift here. You stop saying, I'm trying to get better with money, and start saying, I'm someone who builds wealth. That identity reinforcement makes the next $25,000 easier and the next $50,000 easier. Eventually, $250,000 becomes momentum, not struggle. Third, compounding finally feels real. If you invest $25,000 at an average 8% annual return, after 1 year that's $27,000. After 5 years, about $36,700. After 10 years, roughly $54,000. After 20 years, around $116,000, without adding another dollar. Now you might be thinking, okay, but $250,000 at 8% grows way more. Yes, mathematically it does. But psychologically, the breakthrough happens at $25,000. At $2,000 invested, 8% is $160. You barely notice it. $25,000, 8% is $2,000 per year. Now you feel it. That reinforcement loop changes behavior permanently. By the time you reach $250,000, you've already built the habits. You've mastered saving. You've invested consistently. You've survived market volatility. Heavy lifting is done. The jump from $25,000 to $250,000 is scaling. The jump from $0 to $25,000 is transformation. Transformation is harder than scaling. Think about fitness. Losing your first 25 pounds? Life-changing. Going from 25 pounds lost to 50? Impressive. But you already built the discipline. That's the difference. Here's the danger most people don't talk about. Between $25,000 and $250,000, income usually rises. And when income rises, spending rises. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Data consistently shows that spending increases almost proportionally with income brackets. So if you don't lock in habits before $25,000, you'll never build $250,000 because your lifestyle will expand to absorb your income. The first $25,000 builds the discipline muscle. Without it, higher income just creates higher stress. So how do you get there faster than you think? If you want to reach $25,000 in 2 years, the math is simple. $25,000 divided by 24 months is about $1,042 per month. That sounds high, but break it down. Cut $300 in waste and subscriptions. Add $400 from a side income. Negotiate a $5,000 salary increase. That's about $416 per month. Invest tax refunds and bonuses. Suddenly it's not impossible. A simple framework. Save the first 10%. Increase income by 15%. Lock spending at current levels. Automate everything. Here's what most people don't realize. Income growth accelerates wealth more than extreme frugality. Cutting $5 coffee saves about $1,800 per year. Negotiating a $10,000 raise adds $10,000 per year. Focus energy where it compounds. This is the part nobody talks about. Around $25,000, your nervous system calms down. You sleep better. You argue less about money. You take smarter risks. You think long-term. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of anxiety in America, and $25,000 is often the line where anxiety shifts into stability, not luxury. Stability. Stability creates clarity. Clarity creates better decisions. Better decisions create wealth. And here's what's fascinating. Wealth isn't built by high income alone. It's built by calm, consistent decision-making. And calm often begins around $25,000. Once you hit that number, the path to $250,000 becomes mechanical. Max your employer 401k match. Invest consistently in low-cost index funds. Increase your savings rate with every raise. Avoid lifestyle creep. Keep your emergency fund intact. At a 15% savings rate on an $80,000 income, that's $12,000 invested annually. At an 8% average return, you can cross $250,000 in roughly 12 to 15 years. At that point, it becomes math, not willpower. Most people chase six figures because it sounds impressive, but six figures won't change your life if you're still financially fragile. The first $25,000 is where fear decreases, confidence increases, identity shifts. Compounding becomes visible and decisions improve. It's not glamorous. It won't get Instagram likes, but it's the real turning point. So instead of asking, how do I get to $1 million? Start asking, how do I secure my first $25,000? Because once you do, everything else becomes momentum. If this helped you rethink money milestones, hit subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments, are you below $25,000, above it, or working toward it? And in the next video, we're diving into something even more eye-opening. The 4 income levels that quietly separate the middle class from the wealthy. That one might completely change how you see your income and your future. I'll see you there.